make a move and the bunny gets it.
I said, put the bunny back in the box. Why couldn't you put the bunny back in the box?
It's showtime.
Psychically, I'm very well endowed.
I wanna know what you're thinking. There are some things you can't hide. I wanna know what you're feeling. Tell me what's on your mind.
All right. Supposedly I'm unmuted now. Anyway, StreamYard's lately has just been muting me randomly, you know. I don't know why. Anyway, I'll try to keep an eye on that. But, you know, it's supposed to be a pop culture show. It's kind of like a generic show to where I talk about bigger themes. Basically, kind of pop culture watch. If I see something that's happening that interests me, that I think is going to be impactful, that I think is going to be a game changer, or is going to be significant for the future of entertainment media in general. And I did a show about the war the week before last. How goes the war? The one that Andrew Breitbart declared. Basically the politically pickled versus the people who just want a good time, entertainment. And it was a good discussion to have, or at least a good thing to talk about. But last week, I didn't find anything inspirational. So this show is kind of sporadic in that way. Usually I've got topics for Bunny's thinking because it's a topical show. But I don't always have things for Gen X files. And this could be very well a Bunny thinking. Bunny is thinking about the show. But I see something bigger here. Something that's generational. Something that Gen X is going to recognize. Probably be because what we're about to get, I believe, is a throwback to the era of like E.T. The blockbuster era where you saw the actor's name on it and you kind of had an idea of what you were going to get, or the level of ability or quality you were going to get. Let's face it, there's not very many of those anymore. Tom Cruise can, he can still fill a seat at a theater. Not as consistent as he used to. But just sheer star power. I think Ryan Gosling is one such actor. I think he is going to be that level of an actor. At least after this, I think he will be. Now, I was a little surprised that I hadn't heard of Project Hail Mary too recently. Okay, till I saw that first trailer. I wasn't very familiar with it, to be honest. And because of that, when I saw that trailer, I was like, it resonated with me on a very deep level. And I ran it through the system. YouTube says that I can play it. So I'm going to play it. If I go down, I'll be right back. Okay. YouTube rules. Anyway. Alright. Hopefully. See you shortly.
The sun is dying. Dr. Grace, I need your help.
I am a teacher at Grover Cleveland Middle.
You have a doctorate in molecular biology.
I'm not an astronaut.
I've never done a spacewalk. I can't even moonwalk. I haven't done the pool thing.
No. This is just for social media.
Object approaching.
Oh my god.
So, I met an alien. I'm Grace. I'm gonna call you Rocky.
His son is dying too. If we're gonna save our planet, we have to learn how to communicate.
Why is a school teacher in space? Don't like that voice.
Nope.
I am Rocky.
That's not bad.
Amazing.
Welcome to the Hail Mary.
Thank you, Mary.
You're welcome, Dr. Gray.
Thank you, Mary.
You're welcome, Rocky.
Together, we're pretty smart.
The world is counting on you.
It's now or never.
So I have a new roommate.
Who is Grace talking to?
There's no way you can hear me right now.
Can hear.
Oh my god.
I'm not heroic.
You just need to find someone to be grateful.
You are the bravest human I have ever met. Is joke. I only meet one human, and is you.
I get it.
Okay, now I read the book, or at least I did an audiobook of I listened to the audiobook, and I decided that I'm going to get a hard copy as soon as possible. Probably go to Barnes & Noble and read it there, or get a copy there. But one thing that I'll say about the book, and This might be a little controversial, okay? But it's not a perfect book. Now, there's people who have kind of almost made it a religion. And I think it's because they haven't really had something new show up that felt like something timeless. And the things that wind up being timeless are often flawed. Star Wars famously had to be rewritten by George Lucas's wife at the time. And I've seen a video of what it would have looked like if she hadn't rewritten it, and it is hard science fiction. It's pretty wacky. But the thing about it is like Indiana Jones. I had this discussion about the Raiders of the Lost Ark. Because of the Big Bang Theory, Amy Farrah Fowler saying that Indiana Jones had nothing to do with the outcome. And I spent the better part of 2 days on Twitter, Twitter X, whatever. But, explaining why Indiana Jones was the impetus for that movie, or for that plot to move forward. Why it would not have happened without him. Because people can't understand the way things worked in the early 40s. You can Google somebody in the 40s. No. You could not find people in the 40s unless you found people who knew where they were. We didn't have databases that were accessible from remote. In other words, if they needed to find Marion Ravenwood, it would have taken them years, possibly decades, to hunt her down, especially in Tibet where she was. So the only way that plot moves forward in the time frame that they had for the plot was if Indiana Jones led them to her. And so, in other words, the whole entire domino would not have fallen unless Indiana Jones was a part of it. In other words, Amy Farrah Fowler is full of crap. Okay, I did a short on this one. But, what's up, man? Good to see you, Wrangler. Hey. But, so when I say that something timeless can be flawed, that often it does have flaws. You can sit here and poke holes in a lot of really incredible, iconic movies. Some of our favorite IPs, you can just sit there and plot hole, point out holes in it all day long. The best MCU movie, in my opinion, still is Captain America: Winter Soldier. The second Captain America movie. And, but it has a glaring plot hole right in the middle of it. Something that I think it's very difficult to clear up. And that doesn't remove my appreciation for the rest of the movie. It doesn't remove my appreciation for Captain America series as a whole. Now, Captain America and the Falcon and the Winter Soldier needs to just burn. It never should have existed in the last Captain America movie. I've never seen it. Never intend on seeing it, because that's not Captain America. Go ahead, hate me all you want. It's not. Anyway. Now, Bucky got the shield, maybe. But anyway, he should have. But the thing is, very little media has the themes broad enough and characters distinctive enough to transcend and become timeless. And as Gen X, we saw a lot of those movies that are still being talked about. The Back to the Future series was that first movie was just magic. The next two movies were very solid, but that first movie is just magic. And we have the Goonies. They keep trying to remake the Goonies because the Goonies is magic. And Stand By Me, it's just very magical, coming of age kind of things like that. When you find oddities that transcend, they don't always have to be perfect. They just have to be transcendent. And anyway, hold on a second. Show should have been passed to Louise from Ant-Man. No, it should have. Disagree. Anyway. Matthew Creek, author. What's up, dude? Good to see you. Now, I'll say this. I'll probably the book. Certainly, I've listened to it twice, and it definitely grew on me the second time. That lets me know that there's something to it. But there's definitely some things that are issues. Okay. Because StreamYards has a new thing where you can do a horizontal video and a vertical video. In other words, you can have one that's phone friendly and you have one that's a laptop friendly. Anyway, most of my videos had to do that now. Anyway, so the thing about it is thematically, Project Hail Mary has aspects of it that I think are just going to absolutely make it the movie is going to make it a game changer. Okay, the source material, Andy Weir, who wrote it, also wrote The Martian, and that movie was very good, very self-contained. Had a lot of hard sciences, and it was the Matt Damon project, and it succeeded very well. Well, he took aspects of that. He took aspects of about 3 other ideas he had, and he came up with this. Okay? Now, things that I think are really going to fly based on the book. Okay? The lead character, Ryland Grace. I'm going to do my best not to spoil anything, okay? But the lead character, Ryland Grace, is an everyman. Those always succeed. If you can get people thinking that the character could be them, okay? So how do you get a guy who evidently is this brilliant brilliant scientist when it comes to chemistry and space and things like that? So how do you get a guy who's supposedly an egghead, a scientific brain? How do you get him to be an everyman? Okay, so the way they did it was, and this is on the book cover. It was in the trailers, so this is not a spoiler. But he is a school teacher, a middle school teacher, okay? And in the book, it talks about how he finds that very fulfilling, and he does his best to be the cool teacher, and he finds like fulfillment in his life from being a teacher. And I've got a little bit of that in me. I like to instruct. I guess that's why I do this channel. Is I like to try to inform. I like to try to educate. But that aspect of him, and the interaction with the kids, a lowly job like a teacher. It's not like an elitist job. It's a lunch pail job. I won't talk about the current state of teachers, but it's also aspirational in a lot of ways. And so he now the thing that's realistic is the fact that he gets into this whole thing because he wrote a academic paper that made a lot of waves. And there's certain aspects of their current predicament, which it's on the book leaf. Our sun is starting to dim. And so they're trying to figure out why our sun is dimming. And so there are things that fit his paper, and so they pulled him into it. That's how he gets through the door. Okay. Because the live stream has been modified from the original, it's been formatted to fit your phone screen. Well, I got two streams going on right now. I've got the horizontal, I've got the vertical. That is what's going on. One is phone friendly, and the other is laptop friendly or computer friendly. I'm not sure why we're having this debate, but anyway. Back to the subject. So, because of that, how he gets into it is very realistic. How he gets into the whole entire debacle, Nothing! We are not accusing them of anything. As a matter of fact, they're not even coming up. Alright. Anyway, so that's realistic. His reluctance to be a hero. Now that, in the book, I think Mr. Weir kind of like, there was a moment of break of verisimilitude when it came to that. I thought that the book may have damaged him a little bit. But I see the point of it. There's a very important character beat that he is trying to emphasize later, where there's a change in Mr. Grace later on. And so I could see why he kind of like made it this extreme early. And so that change could be way more emphasized later. And it's an important change in the character. And so I definitely understand why he made that choice. But I do think it damaged the character a little bit. And I do think it was a little heavy-handed. There's a lead female character who, in the book, she's kind of like, she's supposed to be just hard as nails, dominant figure in the book, but she really should have made her a man in the book, because there are aspects of femininity that the character in the book doesn't have that she should. You don't see, it doesn't read like a woman. It reads like a man who somebody has just switched to a woman. because there are like practicalness, there is like logical, and there is things like that that I think that character that looks like in the movie, it looks like they're fixing that. In the book, I liked the character, but I thought it read like a man in a lot of ways. And so maybe Andy might have switched it to a female later on in the script or something like that, and then left some beats in. He didn't really go back and rewrite her to be more feminine. But I do think that was originally intended to be a man. And I still see like a lot of masculinity in that character. But I could see the necessity of having one person with all the powers of the countries agreed upon to run this project, and have carte blanche, because the whole entire world's at stake. So, intergovernmental issues is not going to matter, and so that was a decent part of the plot. One other thing I will discuss with the book is that there is a whole getting real close to a line here. Okay, I'm not sure what line we're getting close to. Anyway, but there's an aspect that I think that it's been in the trailers, it's in the book jacket, that he wakes up with amnesia. And that's kind of like they use that as a vehicle. And once again, amnesia is something that you just can't cause. And the whole entire thing is handled kind of ham-fistedly. I'm going to be very interested to see how they handle that in the movie. Your gendering roles kind of bigoted. Oh, okay. I got you. Well, some roles belong to certain genders over others. I'll just say that. But yeah, so the whole amnesia thing, I could see reason why it's necessary as a plot device. I could see, I'm not sure how they'll treat it in the movie, but in the book, the whole amnesia thing kind of comes and goes. And it doesn't really have the impact it should. Controversial take. There you go. Well, this is my opinion. It's my show, But anyway, but when it comes to that plot device, I understand why it had to happen that way in the structure of the book. But it's going to be interesting to see if they fix that in the movie. So that's something I have a hope for. Okay, let me play another one of the trailers. I think this one's going to be the older one. All right, let me try this one. All right.
Is that me?
I need you to come with us. The sun is dying. You have a doctorate in molecular biology.
And I ride a bike to work. And it's not for exercise.
If we do nothing, everything on this planet will go extinct, including us.
My sheep.
I'm gonna call you Rocky. So, I met an alien. He's a genius engineer. And if I can't understand what he's saying, he puts on a little puppet show for me and my tiny brain. And you know what? I don't mind it. His planet's dying too. We're here for the same reason. Grace, Rocky, save stars. Am I expendable? It's almost like you don't care if I die. Hold on, you have to talk about it?
The consensus here is that it would be preferable if you did not die.
Thanks, guys.
You're a great scientist, Dr. Grace. And a great human being. The world is counting on you.
It's now or never. Call it fist bump, by the way. Fist my bump? No, it's fist bump. It's not the same.
Okay. Let me talk about the big alien in the room. It's the reason why I think this is going to be transcendent. And, oh, got a comment. Hold on. Okay. How does one jumpstart a star? Do they redirect a Birkeland current to it for a power boost? Nope. It's something entirely different. There is a I think it might be a spoiler, but it's not the star itself that's the problem. I'll say that. I don't want to spoil it for you, but the star itself is not the issue, and it's not going to fix itself. And it's so I'll say that much. I don't want to just hurt the book for you. I'm doing my best to dance around it here. But the character that's been revealed by the trailers, it's also on the book cover, and this is essentially a buddy movie. Now, it's not really been until the later, iterations of the trailers, they haven't really focused on that part of it. But this is a buddy movie, okay? Now, I will say that the part of this movie, or the part of the book, definitely, and everything I see in the movies and all the early reviews. By the way, they're reviewing that movie right now. That's how confident they are this is going to be good. They are letting people review this movie right now. I mean, they've got the NDAs and everything, but they're allowing people to tell you that if it's good or not. And it's been across the board, from science fiction nerds to comic book nerds to movie nerds to even scientists, even teachers. I've seen reviews of this from all races, walks of life, and the two genders. Anyway, but everybody, they say the same superlatives, okay? They all have the same issues, if they have any. and they're like really minor, but all of them have the same superlatives, and that lets me know that this is not like a concerted effort, because I'm seeing high-end people who get pushed by YouTube, and like single-digit channels that are reviewing this, and I have seen the movie, have seen early viewings of it, and they all say like the same things, which, as a consensus, that lets me know that this is going to be a real good movie. But in the book, the relationship that gets formed between Ryland Grace, the lead character, and the alien Rocky is one of the warmest relationships I have read in a book in a long time. And so much so that after reading or listening to the audiobook twice, I went back and watched some of these trailers, and the trailers aren't giving everything away. The trailers, I mean, some people are like, oh, it's giving too much away, but the trailers are really walking a great line. They're really giving people the thing that's going to get them into theaters, but what they're going to enjoy once they get there is intact, because the main plot points are not in those trailers. The impetus for the whole thing is not in those trailers, and the outcome is not really in those trailers. Now, this last one here, this is the final one. This one is the one that like impacted me the most, because this one really shows the heart of the movie. And so I'm gonna play it for you. But I might need a moment after I watch it, and I'll let you know why. Here it is.
Please state your name.
Ryland Grace. I just woke up from a coma. I'm several light years from my apartment. And I'm not an astronaut. I'm not an astronaut. I'm not an astronaut.
If you don't go, you die. With the rest of us. The sun is dying. You are the only scientist who might know what this says.
I'm just a teacher at Grover Cleveland Middle.
You have a doctorate in molecular biology. I need you to come with us. This is Project Hail Mary. The sun is not the only star dying. Every star was infected by its neighbor, except one.
Why?
We don't know.
Which is why we built a ship to go there and find out.
It's 11.9 light years away. The astronauts die in space.
It's what you Americans would call a long shot.
Hail Mary. I get it. Who on earth is going to sign up for this?
If we do nothing, everything on this planet will go extinct.
You'll find a solution.
You are my solution.
I put the knot in astronaut. I've never done anything. I've never done a space. I can't even moonwalk.
I understand the stakes. I do. But my place is in the classroom.
The world is counting on you.
This might be very hard for you to understand. But some people are not good at things.
You know who you are. You're gonna do great.
I conquered zero T in 5 hours. Yeah!
Object approaching.
Oh my God.
So, I met an alien. He's kind of growing on me. At least he's not growing in me, you know, which was a concern for a little while. I'm Grace. I'm gonna call you Rocky. Thumbs up. No, that's thumbs down. We do the thumbs up. It's close enough.
Now there's another trailer which I can't show you because it has a clip of a Prince song, and it's the first pop culture time I've ever seen a Prince song used. Prince never, when he was alive, never would let people use it, but that trailer has "I Will Die for You," which is kind of on the nose, I guess, but that one has a it has scenes in it that really kind of thank you, Wrangler. There you go. But it has scenes in it that I wish I could show you. But it shows the relationship that kind of grows up between Ryland Grace and Rocky. And that particular trailer really guts me every time. I mean, guts me every time. I guess it has to do with, friendship is such a rare thing. And the fact that these two individuals are like together trying to save their worlds. I mean, the stakes are so high. And they're both of them in their own way are like the last people in their cultures that should ever be relied upon to do this thing. You know, both of them in a lot of ways have insecurities about their own abilities. And you see them kind of like going up against this impossible task, relying upon one another in a way, and there's really a significance to that relationship that is going to appeal to people, that is going to resonate. It is something very masculine about the relationship. They're bros, okay? That's been de-emphasized so much in culture. Yeah, they've literally tried to eradicate it. They really try to get rid of it. Destroy any sign of it out of culture. And this movie is relying on it. It's absolutely relying on this relationship. These bros from another mother, from not even the same species, the same planet, same solar system. And somehow they find a way to, I won't spoil it, but the whole entire movie and the whole entire book was predicated on this relationship. That's right. Everybody makes fun of the nerdy astrophysicist until a solar crisis happens. There you go. Exactly. It's funny how the jocks are kind of like, okay, dude, it's on you, man. But I think this movie is really going to resonate with people, and I think it's going to cause something in our culture. The reason why I'm bringing it up on Gen X instead of Bunny's thinking about is because I think we're going to see, I think this movie is going to be the thing that Hollywood always listens to. is money, bank, the enthusiasm in the culture. They have no idea. Okay, this may come surprise to some. It won't become as a surprise to others, but Hollywood doesn't understand people. The people who make the decisions in Hollywood wouldn't know an ordinary person if they ran into them on the street. Probably running over them with their Tesla, but anyway. Well, no, they don't do Teslas anymore. Whatever EV that they drive now. But the thing about it is they pay attention to trends, okay? When they see something that resonates with the culture, they immediately start green lighting everything that looks remotely like it. That's why after you have a hit, you'll see a ton of things hit the culture that resonate similarly, okay? The reason why we got such a superhero influx is because Iron Man was such a cultural moment. And then when the Avengers hit, after the successful string of movies, and proved that a shared universe was possible, and that if you build it up, you could go straight to printing money, basically. DC tried to go from 2 movies straight to that point without the build up, and they failed miserably. But essentially, when they saw that shared universe concept, suddenly everything became shared universe. Everybody started looking for a shared universe that they could create, okay? And that all came because that one was successful. Okay, so Hollywood is floundering right now because they thought they knew where the culture was. And for the last almost a decade, because of the ESG money, they haven't had to figure out where people are. They have just been able to just make whatever activist piece of crap they wanted to and shove it into theaters. And they assumed, because they've been watching too much social media and the wrong people on social media, that they knew where the culture was. And so they've been acting on a false assumption of this modern audience. The message. They've been on this false equivalency for almost a decade now, and it has taken them to the brink of irrelevancy, of being eradicated from the culture entirely. They are going to be looking for where the culture is, because they don't know. They do not know. And so here we have a new IP. It's only 4 years old. And basically, the thing that's going to be really good about this movie is they're using practical effects. And practical effects age very well. Ray Harryhausen movies are still enjoyable. You can lose yourself in those movies in a way you cannot lose yourself in these CGI, crap fest that they throw at you. And there's a reason why, Ray Harryhausen movies have aged better than the Avatar movies. And that is because after a while, you need something tactile. You need something physical. And when you look at something that actually exists in 3D space, that's been interacted with physically, is something in your brain tells you that's real in a way that nothing else does. And they went against the grain in this movie. And I've watched several making-ofs. I've seen several interviews. Watched the Comic-Con interview. And they basically said, if anything that was going to make our job harder, we went there. We went in that direction. Okay, Rocky could have been entirely CGI, but no. We got a puppeteer. We created a whole entire puppet system that, with servos and things like that didn't exist before. And we got a master puppeteer, and the puppeteer actually interacted with Ryan Gosling, and to create the relationship. And later on, they, did the voiceover later, but there was an actual person interacting with Ryan Gosling. It's kind of like Gollum all over again. The reason Gollum in The Lord of the Rings is so resonant is because there's an actual physical human being behind the CGI, the motion capture. But Rocky is actually a puppet, okay? And they actually did harness work. They actually did different environments, the way different environments would interact. And they just made things harder on themselves, but ultimately it's going to make this movie timeless in a way that not many movies are. That's why older movies use animatronics, like Jim Henson's Creature Shop still holds up. Yeah, the 90s real movies. Yep, absolutely. That's a good example. I mean, nobody ever talks about the Michael Bay CGI monstrosities, do they? Nobody. But the reason why I think this is going to work is because it started from a place of love. It was written by Andy Weir, and he fell in love with his characters, and he enjoyed the writing of this book so much, and he loved these characters so much that he went straight to Ryan Gosling through his and he'd I don't know how he knew Ryan Gosling. I think they share an agent or something, an agency. But he took it straight to Ryan Gosling, and he's like, I wrote this book with you in mind. This should be your next movie project, okay? And then Ryan Gosling put his name on it, put his production, he produced it, he put a lot of his money into it. He loved it so much. And then they took that book over to Drew Goddard. Drew Goddard is one of the best screenwriters in Hollywood. Nerdrotic rants about this guy all the time. The fact that the Star Trek could have used him to write their stuff, but they chose not to. But Drew Goddard wrote the HBO Daredevil series, and he wrote a whole bunch of other stuff that you'll say, ooh, I like that. And he wrote the screenplay, and then he took it to these two guys. Now, they got damaged by the fact that they got taken off the Solo project. For whatever reason, okay? But they've done solid stuff before. And lately, the last few years, they've been doing these Beyond the Spider-Verse movies, which is animation. But they were looking to get back into live action. And they were handpicked by Ryan, who'd worked with them before, to be the directors of this. And then Andy stayed on. They had Andy Weir in every level of the production. He wasn't just there for the writing of it. He was there for the whole entire production. And so this thing was made with love. And they did everything right from start to finish. Everything that should work. They got the writing correctly. Okay? They got the right actor. In fact, they got the actor that inspired the Ryland Grace in the first place. They didn't go easy route with Rocky. They went with a puppet, and they got the best puppeteer they could find and the best puppet making operation that they could find. And they even invented some things to go into these puppets. I think they used the same people that made some of the animatronics at Universal Studios. The brand new stuff that just opened up, the Epic Universe. Which, if you see videos of that, oh my God, it's so smooth. It's terrifying how smooth it is. And so they use a lot of that technology, that brand new servo technology, which is run by AI, I think. And so they also used a lot of harness work, a lot of physical sets, and Ryan Gosling said this is the most physical shoot that he's ever had in his entire life. It's the most physical movie he's ever had to make. And he's like, every single day I'd come in, I was like, okay, what torture are you going to put me through today? And they're like, well, we're going to do this, this, and this. And he's kind of like, I'll be in my trailer. But to show how much love they all have for this project, I just saw this a little while ago. I was watching this a little while ago. But Ryan was sitting there at home, and he was just talking about the character or whatever. And he said that he put his glasses on. And his daughter comes by, and his daughter says, "You should wear those. You look so much smarter with glasses on." And so, because of that little offhand statement that she made, that's why he's wearing glasses for the majority of the movie. And so, we're talking about people who just absolutely were wide open to input from each other. They were truly collaborative. And this book, at the start, while it does have flaws, and I've enumerated some of the flaws that I think it has, the heart in this book, if they translate the heart that's in this book to the main screen, this is going to be a generational movie. I'm going to call it right now. I've been kind of like joked at by my friends in my ex group. They said that I'm being grandiose when I say these things. And because they've never heard of it, and it kind of like has not penetrated to other parts of the culture. Mainstream publishing has kind of lost a lot of the geek culture. And so a lot of the geeks aren't really aware of it. But it's just really huge overseas. And it just went back on the bestseller list. So a whole bunch of people are picking this book up for the first time. And once it hits in about 2 weeks, I think it's coming out on the 20th, it is going to be massive. Because people are starving for something like this. And what's going to happen, I'm calling it now, is that Hollywood, who is just completely mystified, completely flabbergasted by the current culture, is going to see the success of this movie, and they're going to use it as their guiding star for at least the next 3 or 4 years. Yep. There you go. I think a lot of people, the word of mouth is going to be huge. But even if you haven't read the book, if they translate any percentage of what's in that book to the screen, it's just going to be generational. And I really think that these floundering studios who have no idea where the culture is right now, they follow the siren song of the modern audience to a dead end. And now that people are taking over these studios that aren't necessarily conservative, but they're not all the way to the wall liberal, there's a possibility we're going to see a shift that comes from this movie right here. And this has happened multiple times in history where a movie has come out, done gangbusters, and then suddenly that's become the new model. And this movie has heart. It's got practical effects. It's got good writing behind it. Good screenwriting behind it. It's got, at its core, humanity, a relational complexity, flawed characters that find a way to succeed like we used to get. And it's also got a buddy comedy. It's got bros. It's got a couple of bros at its heart. And you are going to root for these guys. And you're going to just hope for these guys. And then you're going to cheer for these guys in a way that we haven't seen in recent years. And I think it's going to change everything for at least a little while. I don't know if they'll get the right lessons from this, because they've had successes before and they got the wrong lessons and went in the wrong direction. So we'll see if they figure it out. But for right now, a couple weeks, this is going to hit. And I think it's going to be huge. So, if you're hearing about this from me for the first time, my bunny rating of Project Hail Mary is 5 out of 6 carats. Maybe about 4.5 out of 6 carats. It's a flawed book. It's got its flaws, but it's extraordinarily enjoyable. And I've listened to it twice now, and I'm going to get a hard copy of it to see if it translates into written page. But I think it's going to be very, very solid. Lesson learned. We need to do the girl boss thing with practical effects. I hate to say it, but you're probably right. We'll see if they make her feminine in the movie. The actress that they're using is a very good actress. One I've really enjoyed her work. And she is in the trailers. She has showed more softness, more femininity in the trailers than she ever did in the book. Like I said, I really think that she was meant to be a male in the book. That was changed late, and he didn't quite get that transferred over. But anyway, that's neither here nor there. So Project Hail Mary, Bunny recommend a book. You can pick it up. It's a #1 audiobook in America. It's the #1 best-selling book in America currently. It's been on the tips of people's tongues for 4 years. Its turnaround on this has been massively fast. For 4 years from publication to movie coming out, that is crazy fast. And it only could happen if they think they hit a home run and they wanted to get beat to the market as soon as possible. And the amount of work and love that's gone into this, I just think it's going to be huge. Anyway, thank you all for coming. My friend Wrangler, Matthew Kreb was here earlier. WEF Patsy showed up for a little while. And I've had one of my bigger crowds in a long time. That's very encouraging. But pick this book up or get the audio book. Listen to it. It's definitely worth your time. And when the movie comes out, all indications is it's going to be worth your time too. And so I will see you guys Saturday night. The Cryptids and Conspiracies group is going to do near-death experiences. So that's Saturday night. So we'll see you there at 7 o'clock. Follow the White Rabbit. Bye, everybody.